So today we're going to start out with me. So I'm going to share with you about something called the upper level limit. Raise your hand if you know what the upper level limit is. Okay, I think I saw one hand. Here's what it is. And I'm going to talk to you about this just for a few minutes, and then we're going to work really hard to end January in a professional way, because I won't see you again before the end of this month. We'll be together on February 1st, and by that time, we've already ended the month. So the upper level limit. If you have not read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, actually, I didn't read it either. I just listened to the Audible. Like at night, I'll lay there and listen to it for 10 minutes at a time, and then I have to find where I ended because I fall asleep at the end. But the point is that the upper level limit is something that we all battle, and maybe we don't even know it. So for many people, we live in a certain, call it a thermostat. Think of it as a temperature gauge. Like we live, like for me in my house, I'm comfortable between like 68 and 71. Like that's where I'm comfortable. If you go too high, can't live there. Go too low, I'm too cold. In your life, you do the same thing. So I thought about this morning because if you guys are working and messaging and posting and asking and making these steps towards building a business, but yet you haven't addressed an upper level limit, you'll do all of this. And guess what you'll end up doing? You'll end up sabotaging the work that you've done, which would be so pointless. So I'm going to give you an example of this. In fact, you need to listen to Jessica Heffley's podcast about this. I'll pull up the name of it and put it in the chat. But she talks about Susie McCall, who had surgery and she had to wait 90 days to go work out. And so on the 90th day, she goes into the gym excited. You know how much she loves to exercise. And no sooner does she walk in the gym door that she stubs her toe and can't work out. Okay, so there's one example of an upper level limit. You're like, Jen, how did she make her toe get stubbed? Well, this is all happening in the background, running in the background. You are an app running in the background because of fear. So here's another example. When I went diamond, you would think that would have been the best day ever, right? You would have been like, that would be the day. Well, my husband and I had the biggest fight the day I went diamond. Like literally go diamond, huge fight. That's an upper level limit. If you don't feel comfortable with these higher levels of success, like if you don't feel comfortable bringing people in and promoting, you think you do, but I'm going to challenge you on that. If you don't feel comfortable being up here, you will do something to bring you back down to the thermostat level that you're okay with. And you're saying to yourself, I don't know how I do that. Okay, think about this. If you have everyone that you message say yes to you about the products, what does that mean you now have to do? You better be a dang good coach and help them use their products. Oh, and guess what else? You need to tell them about the 3 to refer and you earn this bonus. So you better help them do that. And you better set the example too. You better make sure that you're doing what you're asking them to do. You're entering into a whole new world of responsibility, worth it, but scary. And so many people will start thinking, I'd almost rather hear a no. Like you wouldn't say it out loud, but it's almost easier if people say no than if people say yes, because now you have a whole new set of things that you are now responsible for. Every single rank comes with its own new set of responsibilities, and the upper level limit. Have you ever had this happen where it's like you're already running late, you're already stressed out, and you have this really important thing you have to do, and then your computer's dead? And then this other thing happens, and then this other thing happens, and you literally are like, really right now? Really? Jessica Heffley shares a story where she had paid a very good chunk of money to go to a very important mastermind. It's with, I think she did Kristen Boss, but it might've been someone different, but that ain't cheap. And she is so excited to go. This is going to invest in herself. She's going to become a better businesswoman and a better leader. She doesn't hear her alarm. She completely oversleeps, has to run out of the house to the airport, barely makes it to her flight, like sweating, stressed, leaves her laptop on the airplane when she deboards to go to this mastermind. Everything that she'd never done before, she was doing. Why do you think that is? because it wasn't comfortable for her to be in a room with 20 other powerful businesswomen representing herself as, I'm a powerful businesswoman. That's terrifying. So if you're sitting here and you're silver, you have 3 people that have trusted you. I want you to dive deep into what could you be your upper level limit. It could be, I'm afraid, like at silver, I can still change my mind. Like I'm not all in. It's not embarrassing yet. But once you get to gold, you're creeping into embarrassment zone, because now people are going to say, you're all in with this plexus stuff. Like that's a little awkward. Every one of us will have that. Now, I'm not a coach, and so I can't tell you what you're sabotaging yourself for. It could be fear of failure. It could be fear of success. It could be the lie of perfectionism. It could be the lie of worthiness. There's all these things. But I would encourage you to dig deep, like really visualize yourself moving to that next level and think of, write it down, all the things that scare you about that. Because once you identify those things that terrify you. So for me, when I got to diamond, and this answers your question that you're probably wondering, what was the fight about with my husband? I had an identity crisis. I literally didn't know who I was at that moment, because I had always been the homeschool mom. I'd always been the wife, but now I had this new title that really meant something very important to me. What I had seen other people become, diamonds, and what they represented to me and what they provided for me, I suddenly felt like, oh snap, like, oh snap. And so it was easier for me to be in a place of, I didn't want to celebrate it. I didn't want to celebrate it because I was scared. And so it was easier for me to dial down the thermostat and live in a place of conflict or in a place of not celebrating because it was scary. Now, I didn't know that at the time. I was like, my husband is, no, I was having an upper level limit. So when you're going through your day and you're supposed to do something and something happens, I want you to say out loud, and people are going to think you're crazy. Literally say it out loud. Upper level limit. Like if the door slams on your hand when you go to the grocery store and you're already in a hurry, just say to yourself, upper level limit. Not that you made the door slam on your hand, but there are things that we do subconsciously that actually create for ourselves a way to stay comfortable. And comfortable actually doesn't mean comfortable, because most of the time you're not comfortable. You feel very unhappy in your comfort zone, but we rather stay there than go to the next level. They have studied lottery winners, billionaires, millionaires, $300 million winners. Every time their lives end up worse than before. I mean, they're one of the highest lottery winners ever. He had, like in a month's time, his house burned down. His daughter got sick. One of his granddaughters committed suicide. There were all these things happening in his life. He wasn't happy. And so this is all in that Gay Hendricks book. And I want you guys to look into it. Deal with it now. Deal with the upper level limit, and you won't have to deal with it later. Maybe. Okay, we're going to talk about the end of the month. So I'm going to give you things to do that we're going to actually use to finish January strong. And I was thinking about this earlier. Could you put in the chat if you are silver, only if you are silver, because sometimes it makes a difference to me based upon the audience. So if you're silver, put that in the chat. So we're going to go through each thing one at a time. Okay. All right, so it looks like we have 6 or 7 silvers. So if I ask you to do something today that you're like, I don't even have that in my virtual office, like I don't have that many people or whatever I'm saying, then I want you to visualize. I want you to visualize that you do. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go in and do the obvious. You're going to check for people that are either close to 500 PV or close to 100 PV. We're going to need to talk about how we bump them over to the next level. If they're close to 500, that's easy, because if they spend something, they're going to make enough commission to more than cover that. They're basically getting free product. I don't have a problem asking somebody, do you want to get free product? Because you're so close, you're going to get 25% commission. The 100 PV, that gets a little bit different, because if someone's ordered and they're at 98, which I have someone at 98 right now, I'm sitting here battling with myself going, should I ask him if he wants to try the new cleanser or whatever? I obviously wouldn't ask him if he wants to. Well, maybe I would. I don't know. That's what I want you to do. It won't take you but a second. If you're not sure how to do it, just click on PV and it sorts them by PV. You can do high to low, low to high, and just check for sure and write down those people's name. If someone's under 100 and you don't feel comfortable going to them, then do what I did last month, or maybe it was a month before. I have a girl that's consistently ordered under 100. And I was like, why have I not told her that she could have earned like all of these perks in this amount of time? So I said, hey, next month, if I were you, I would add a product, because all this time you could have already earned like $50 worth of free product. My bad. I should have told you that. And she did. She went and added X Factor Plus to her triplex order because she knew then she could earn free product. She just didn't know. And I had never told her because I think she reads all the Plexus emails. No, she doesn't. She does not read all the Plexus emails, and she definitely doesn't look at my team page. I am her source of all things Plexus, and I didn't tell her. So that's an idea.